Good afternoon.
Et bonsoir.
Welcome.
Bonsoir, Victor.
Merci. Thanks for coming, Pascal, and to invite me to make this small live chat to all the French people and the people who see us. Okay, so I'm gonna start with a small presentation about Amazon.
Yes, great. Thank you. We have the little cut here. Yes, thank you also to take the time to do this live. I think it will be very rich for all the French people who wants to talk about wild and want to discover or pass them fear to handle wild. So I'm so excited. Let's start.
Okay, it's important to say we're gonna make this live chat perhaps 1 hour and a half.
Yes.
You can translate to French. If you can translate the things I say in French.
Bien sûr. Donc on va faire donc ce live qui va durer environ à peu près 1h30 sur lequel on va faire une présentation de 30 minutes de l'Amazonie et puis ensuite on pourra répondre à toutes sortes de questions sur le discus sauvage, maintenance, filtration, eau, nourriture et
maladie. Aussi maladie. Aujourd'hui, je vais parler un petit peu avec des poissons crazy.
Yes.
Okay. So let's start the presentation. I'm gonna speak just 2 or 3 minutes, and then you translate. I just say a few things, and then I stop, and you can translate to French. Okay. So let's start with a small presentation.
No problem.
So I'm going to speak a little about this community, Iripishi.
Ok, donc on va parler en fait donc un petit peu de cette communauté donc Iripixi.
These pictures, most of them is about the fishermen and the people who lives in this place.
Donc les photos sont en fait des photos de gens qui sont des pêcheurs et qui vivent donc à cet endroit.
It's important to say they live for the fishing wild discos, but during the winter they live for agriculture.
Alors excuse-moi, sorry Victor, we got cut, so I couldn't hear what you say.
Yeah, so they catch fish during 3-4 months, and during the winter they live for the agriculture, planting many things. How they survive.
Alors pendant 3-4 mois en fait donc ils vont pêcher les poissons et puis ensuite ils vont vivre en fait de l'agriculture le reste de l'année.
This community, Iripishi, have a lot of children, kids. So you see many pictures because it's a lot of kids living there. Okay, so let's speak about fishing and selection.
Donc on va parler donc de pêche et de sélection.
Here is one of the fishermen after catching one fish. You can see the kind of nets they use is different for the nets we use in our aquarium.
Donc là, on peut voir un pêcheur en train d'attraper un poisson et on peut observer en fin de compte la différence en fin de compte d'épuisettes utilisées qui sont bien différentes de celles qu'on utilise en aquarium.
Usually they fishing at day, and in this image they can see how we made.
Alors normalement, en fait, sorry, we get cut again. What exactly you said? Sorry.
Usually, normally they fishing during the day, and in this image is how they made. They put a net near this trunk, and they start fishing here in the middle of the day.
Alors là, en fait, là, en règle générale, donc ils pêchent la journée, et là, on peut les voir donc utiliser un filet pour pouvoir commencer la pêche et garder les poissons à l'intérieur.
So they fishing at day most of the time, but also they fishing at night, of course.
Donc la plupart du temps, ils pêchent la journée, mais ça leur arrive aussi de pêcher la nuit.
For me, like a guy who living in the city and born in the city, for me it's a little danger at night. But they living here, so okay.
Donc comme dit Victor, le soir, forcément pour quelqu'un qui vient de la ville, ça paraît un petit peu dangereux en fait de pêcher de nuit, mais comme il est avec les locaux, en fait, ça va.
So here it's how they made, and you see the size of the water. Most of the time is not more than 20-40 centimeters, the level of the water.
Et donc on peut voir aussi sur les images qu'en fait que le niveau de l'eau est assez bas. En fait, en règle générale, on est dans une eau approximativement à 40 cm de haut.
During the winter, in this place, they have 6-7 meters the level of the water.
Alors que pendant l'hiver, en fait, l'eau peut monter jusqu'à 6-7 mètres.
Usually, they have teams. A team with 3-4 fishermen.
Alors, normalement, ils sont en équipe. Ils ont plusieurs équipes en fait de 3-4 pêcheurs.
And we select the fish. We select the fish in the same place they catch, because the fish I don't want. Usually, I just select 10% of the fish. The others goes again for the same place. You understand?
Donc en fait, la sélection se fait, alors, je crois que j'ai loupé un petit peu le début, mais la sélection se fait en gros comme ça. Victor, lui, va sélectionner 10% en fait des poissons et le reste est rejeté donc dans le même endroit de manière à conserver en fin de compte le biotope.
And like you see, Pascal, and everybody who follow us, the fish don't have the colors like you have your fish in your aquarium or I have my fish. The fish are all like you see here. They are brown. You don't see red fish or blue fish. They have this color.
Alors, comme disait Victor aussi, comme on peut le voir sur ces images, les poissons, là, en fait, n'ont pas du tout les mêmes couleurs qu'en aquarium. En fait, là, ils sont marrons, marron clair, avec très, très peu de couleurs.
And like you see in this small movie, the fish are all the time inside the trunks and near the trunks. So no light, no much light.
Alors, comme on peut le voir aussi, donc les poissons se cachent dans la pénombre et il y a très peu de lumière et c'est très sombre.
It's because most of the time I advise to the people don't use lights for all day and just use a small light and not strong one because wild discos don't like it.
C'est aussi pour ça que Victor, en règle générale, préconise en fait de tamiser en fin de compte les aquariums. Les discus n'aiment pas les lumières violentes. Ils aiment les aquariums plutôt sombres.
And most of the times we see a biotope with a lot of plants and you don't see any plants here and there is no plants in these places.
Aussi, on voit dans les aquariums souvent énormément d'aquariums plantés avec énormément de plantes, alors qu'en fait, vous voyez, en milieu naturel, en fait, il n'y a pas de plantes. En fait, on est dans un milieu acide avec du bois, mais très très peu de plantes.
And what they eat, most of the nutrition of this fish is just algae. And you can see the small trucks, all of them, they have algae and they eat this algae.
Sorry, Victor, you have to tell me what is algae. I don't know.
It's like when we put spirulina.
Yes.
It's algae.
Ah, algues. Ok. Donc, on va dire qu'une grosse partie, en fin de compte, de la nutrition du discus, en fait, ce sont les algues. Voilà, ce sont des poissons qui sont donc aussi herbivores et mangent en grande partie donc des algues.
And like you see now, is a guy very near the fish and they don't have afraid.
On peut voir aussi donc sur les images que on voit un pêcheur qui est très très près en fin de compte des discus et ils n'ont absolument pas peur.
But all the time is one of the fish is the leader of the group, like in aquarium.
Sorry, we get cut. I didn't hear.
All the time we have a group of fish, but one is the leader. Like usually we have in our aquarium. All the time we have one who commands, who all the fish follow this one.
Alors, donc Victor explique généralement quand il tombe sur un groupe de poissons en milieu naturel, il y a souvent en fait un leader. Et tous les autres poissons, en fait, suivent ce leader et obéissent à ce leader. Donc, en règle générale, à chaque fois qu'il tombe sur un groupe comme ça, il cherche toujours et il essaie de trouver le leader.
So, you see the fish under the water, they don't have great colors. They are brown, so...
Comme il dit, donc, comme vous pouvez voir sur les images, en fait, les poissons n'ont pas vraiment de belles couleurs en milieu naturel. Ils sont très marrons.
And you never see a fish very fat. They are skinny. You understand?
Et donc, en milieu naturel aussi, vous voyez, vous tombez très rarement sur des poissons très épais. En règle générale, ils sont maigres.
Here, the fishermen try to fishing and he catch one, but it's very difficult, like you imagine. So here is me and my staff and fishermen just looking and select the fish we like.
Donc là, on peut voir Victor avec ses amis pêcheurs, en gros, qui donc font la sélection tous ensemble, voir ce qu'ils vont garder ou rejeter au milieu naturel.
These pictures is at night. They fishing at night just with a small lamp, nothing more. It's more easy to catch fish at night because they are sleeping.
Alors, donc là, vous pouvez voir, donc là, c'est une pêche de nuit. Apparemment, donc, c'est plus facile de pêcher de nuit parce qu'ils sont endormis, donc c'est plus facile pour les attraper.
And they put the lamp, like here, you see, they put the lamp in the mouth. So he's how if he found the fish, he put the lamp in the mouth and they diving.
Donc, comme vous pouvez voir la technique de pêche, il met la lampe dans la bouche et donc comme ça lui permet d'avoir les 2 mains de libre pour pouvoir attraper les poissons.
See, it's really difficult to see the fish and to catch the fish. Here it's me and Elise select the fish in the boat.
Donc là, vous pouvez voir en fait Elise et Victor en train de sélectionner un poisson.
And what the criteria? What is our selection? Our selection is first the shape. We try to find and select the most round fish.
Alors, les critères de sélection pour eux, d'abord, la chose la plus importante, c'est de sélectionner donc un poisson rond.
Then, after the shape, we try to find fish with a small eye, of course.
Alors, ensuite, le deuxième critère, ça va être d'avoir un petit œil, de manière, c'est ce qui est signe d'ailleurs de jeunesse pour un poisson.
Oui. And then, of course, the color of the fish. Sometimes it's very difficult because just with our experience, we know if the fish going to be a royal or just a solid or a semi-royal, but the color is also very important to us.
Sorry, we get cut just after royal. What you say after royal?
I say it's very difficult to see the color. Just
Yes.
with the experience, we know what color the fish going to be in next month.
Ok, donc c'est pas facile en fait de voir les couleurs. Bon, ils ont quand même de l'expérience, ils ont quand même l'œil, mais les couleurs définitives en fait viendront après, au bout de quelques mois.
Like in your aquarium and all who have wild discos, you know the fish arrive with one color, and after 6 months they have a very strong color. Also, the patterns, the lines comes after 6-8 months.
Donc en fait, c'est comme pour nous quand les poissons arrivent dans nos aquariums. Au départ, ils arrivent avec une teinte un peu ternie, et puis au fur et à mesure, en fait, donc les poissons prendront leur couleur au fur et à mesure des mois. Ça peut des fois prendre même jusqu'à 7 à 8 mois.
The last thing important to us in the selection is the bars. We don't select fish with bars destroyer. How I say destroyer? When you see some fish, the bars are not totally complete. You understand? The bars, the black bars. We try to find fish with perfect bars, not bars destroyer.
Not Y.
Yeah. Yeah.
Donc ça aussi c'est un critère de sélection pour Victor. En clair, ce qu'il cherche aussi des poissons avec des barres bien droites, et il essaie d'éviter en fait des barres en Y par exemple, voilà, ou des barres pas droites.
Exactly. So this is what is more important to us: the shape, the size of the eyes, the color, and the perfect bars in the fish.
Donc voilà en fait la sélection, donc d'avoir des poissons bien ronds avec un petit œil et puis avec des barres bien droites pour avoir un poisson vraiment de bonne qualité.
It's because that we just take 10% because it's very difficult to find fish with these details, round, nice color, the bars all correct. So it's very difficult. Is why we just keep 10% of the fish.
C'est pour ça qu'en fait Victor garde 10% en fin de compte de la pêche, parce qu'il dit que c'est très difficile de tout avoir en fait, de tomber donc sur un poisson qui va avoir tous ces critères-là.
So now I want to speak about something many people don't know. Why is so different wild discus in Iripichi?
Alors maintenant Victor va nous parler donc d'un endroit pourquoi en fin de compte les poissons sont si spéciaux sur la région de Iripixi.
This is a picture we made with a drone. So you see how many tracks in this place. In each track, all the time we found wild discus.
Sorry, we get cut. Sorry.
You see the picture made with a drone.
Yes.
And you see how many tracks, trees.
Yes.
And in each one, all the time, we found wild discus.
Donc ça, là, c'est une région où vous pouvez voir qu'il y a donc énormément d'arbres et de troncs. Et donc, en dessous de ces troncs, forcément, des racines. Et c'est donc là qu'ils trouvent en fait énormément de poissons de discus.
And why so different colors of fish, red, blue, Ica, Royal, in Iripichi?
Alors pourquoi il y a autant de différentes couleurs de discus, bleu, rouge, vert ou autre dans le lac de Iripixi?
Because when comes the summer, the water down and comes for many places, for many arms of the river. The fish comes when the water down. So the water down and comes fish from here, fish from there, and all concentrate in this place. You understand?
Yes. Donc en fait, dans cette région, quand on arrive en saison d'évaporation, le niveau d'eau baisse énormément et donc il y a plein d'affluents en fait qui vont tomber et se rejoindre dans cette zone-là, qui vont de types de poissons de droite et de gauche et ils vont tous se réunir à ce niveau-là.
Oui, c'est ça. So here is some of the fish from Iripichi and like you see, they are all different.
Alors là, vous pouvez voir, donc là, ce sont tous des discus qui viennent d'Iripixi et donc vous pouvez voir une variété vraiment différente.
But the fish from Iripichi is some of the most round fish we have found in the last 15 years.
Mais donc, sur le lac de Iripixi, c'est là qu'on peut trouver les poissons les plus ronds depuis ces 15 dernières années.
All of them are from Iripichi, and you see some are more red, others more blue. But the type is the most important.
Donc, comme vous pouvez voir, donc il y a plein de couleurs différentes, des royales, des 3 barres, des rouges. Mais la chose la plus importante, c'est vraiment que le poisson soit vraiment bien rond.
And see the eye, we try to find all the time, very small eye, but it's not easy, of course.
Et donc, comme vous pouvez voir aussi sur tous ces poissons, ils ont tous un œil très petit. Et ça aussi, voilà, c'est pas forcément facile toujours de trouver ça. Donc, la sélection est vraiment basée aussi là-dessus.
I'm sure some of these fish are in many aquariums in the world. Also in France. France, it's the place where we have sell more fishes. France and Belgium.
Sorry, we get cut. What did you say? I'm sorry.
I say perhaps many of these fish I have shown now, they are in the aquariums of customers. And France and in Belgium is the people who loves more the wild discus in Europe, and most of them they go from France to Belgium.
Alors donc, comme il disait, la plupart des poissons qu'on a vus déjà ce soir, en fait, sont déjà dans les aquariums de clients, et beaucoup partent en France, en Belgique. Il y a énormément d'amateurs de wild discus dans ces régions-là.
Now I'm going to speak about the transport.
Là, on va parler donc maintenant du transport.
Oui. Le poisson, the fish, when we catch the fish, we put in this big box, hood box. Okay.
Alors, quand ils attrapent donc ces poissons, eh bien, ils viennent les mettre dans ces boîtes en bois.
It's a box in hood with 2 meters for 2 meters. So most of the time we put 200 fish here.
Donc là, c'est une sorte de barque en bois, de box en bois, pardon, de 2 mètres sur 2 mètres. Et donc, ils vont mettre à peu près 200 poissons dans ces boxes.
In this day, it's time to take the fish from the box and travel with the fish to Santarém. It's important to say, between Santarém and Iripichi, we take more or less 20 hours.
Alors, donc, une fois que, si j'ai bien compris, Victor, parce qu'on a été encore coupé au début, si j'ai bien compris, vous emmenez ces poissons, you take those fish to go to Santarém, hein?
Exactly.
And it takes 20 hours, right?
Exactly.
Voilà, donc de cette boîte, donc de cet enclos, ensuite les poissons vont être mis dans ces bacs en plastique et ils vont faire un acheminement de 20 heures pour aller donc à Santarém.
So this is the fish we have selected. This is the fish we're gonna take with us.
Donc là, voilà, ça, ce sont tous les poissons qui ont été sélectionnés, les fameux 10% de toute la sélection.
Until we buy the boat, we use the boat of the line. And in the boat of the line, we need to put the fish in plastic bags.
Until you buy the boat, what? What did you say?
Until we buy the boat, we put the fish in plastic bags. Because... Yes?
Jusqu'à qu'ils aient donc acheté un bateau pour pouvoir acheminer les discus à Santarém, en fait, ils les mettaient avant dans des barques en plastique.
When I decide to buy the boat, the fish travel much better because we use these big boxes, plastic blue, and the fish travel with oxygen, and we see the pH and the temperature, everything.
Donc ensuite, eh ben, les poissons sont amenés donc dans ces énormes containers bleus sur lesquels, vous voyez, donc on y met de l'oxygène et ils vont passer un moment donc dans ces
So after we use the boat like a logistic to travel with the fish, no fish die, and we keep the fish much better. They arrive much better to the farm.
Alors depuis qu'ils font cette technique-là, en fait, ça leur permet de conserver 100% en fin de compte des poissons pêchés et de ne pas perdre de poissons pendant le trajet.
Of course, we change the water during that 20 hours. We change the water minimum 1 time.
During you change the water during
the travel?
Yes.
We change the water most of the time 1 time, sometimes 2 times, depend of quantity of fish, and we see the test if you have nitrates, you know.
Alors, donc pendant le voyage, donc ils vont tester donc l'eau et ils vont changer entre une ou deux fois l'eau des bacs avant d'arriver à Santarém.
So in this way, no died fish, and they arrive in perfect conditions to our farm.
Et donc, c'est grâce à ce principe-là, en faisant les tests aussi bien évidemment nitrite, nitrate, que en gros, ça leur permet de ne pas perdre de poissons à l'arrivée à Santarém.
Here we are made a change of water, of course. It's important to say the pH here in Iripichi is 5.5, 5.6.
Donc, c'est important aussi de souligner que le pH en zone Iripixi est de 5.5, 5.6.
18 to 20 microsiemens.
Et entre 18 et 20 microsiemens.
So, guys, it's not possible to try make the same at home because it's impossible to have 20 microsiemens in our aquariums.
Bien évidemment, c'est plus compliqué d'avoir ce type de paramètres-là dans notre aquarium, bien sûr.
So here it's everything prepared for made 20 hours to arrive to Santarém.
Sorry, we get cut. Sorry again.
I say it's take 20 hours and everything is prepared to travel, and of course we need to make a change of water in the middle of the travel, and now we're going to speak about the predators, what they eat our wild discus.
Ok. Donc, comme disait Victor, en fait, donc tout est préparé, bien évidemment, pour le voyage en amont, et tout est préparé aussi pour l'arrivage, pour que les poissons arrivent en bonne santé. Donc là, maintenant, on va parler des prédateurs qui mangent nos discus.
So, this is the fish eaten by piranhas, like you see.
Là, vous pouvez voir donc un discus mangé par un piranha.
Oui. So, like you see, I'm gonna explain something many people don't know. In this image, let's stop here. Okay, it's here. If you see here, the piranha eat the tail, and this in this fish they grow up. Okay, the tail of the fish.
Alors, donc là, vous pouvez voir en fait que sur ce poisson, quasiment la totalité de la queue a été mangée, ainsi que la nageoire dorsale, mais ça va repousser. Voilà, ça repoussera, ça va mettre du temps, mais ça repoussera.
But that part of the bones of the fish in near the head, if the piranha take, it's impossible. They never grow up again.
Ah, alors par contre, une morsure trop profonde sur la partie interne de la nageoire, donc là quand on a passé les stries en fin de compte de nageoire et qu'on se rapproche du squelette, ça par contre, si jamais ça a été mangé, ça peut rester définitif.
Also, we found many fish deformed, like this one. It's like this one.
Comme vous pouvez voir aussi, des fois, ils tombent beaucoup sur des poissons déformés.
This is Botu, and Botu eat a lot of discus. Also, some birds, of course.
On a pu voir des dauphins, des oiseaux, des alligators.
And now let's speak a little about what they eat and why they change so much. Okay.
Alors maintenant, on va voir qu'est-ce qu'ils mangent et pourquoi est-ce qu'ils changent tellement.
Okay, so this is the box where we keep the fish until go to Santarém, to the farm. And you
Sorry,
see,
my friend, we get cut. This is, you say what? This is
this is our boxes, hood box in Iripichi.
Okay.
We have 3 boxes here, and you see the Discus Grand from Tropical.
Alors donc là, vous pouvez voir, donc il y a les 3 boîtes dans lesquelles ils mettent en fait les discus avant de les envoyer à Santarém. Et puis vous avez pu voir donc la nourriture qu'ils utilisent déjà là-bas, donc le discus grand de chez Tropical.
And why we start make that? We start feeding with the grants the fish in the hood box, because sometimes they are 2 weeks in the hood box. And if we give some grams, they start eating the grams still in the Voiman, still in the water in Amazon. Oh, look. So it's very easy. It's very easy when the fish arrive to our farm, because they are eating. They start eating in the hood box.
Donc, ils commencent déjà à les nourrir directement en fait dans ces boîtes. Des fois, les poissons sont faibles. Donc, en mangeant déjà du grain discus, ça leur permet déjà de reprendre un petit peu des forces et ça les aide aussi pour après le trajet, quand ils arrivent dans d'autres fermes, de faciliter donc le nourrissage.
Because if we stay with the fish more than 2-3 weeks in the box, they gonna be more thin and gonna difficult to recover. You understand?
We get cut at the start. What did you say?
If we stay the fish 3 weeks in this hood box, the fish start to be very thin, so it's difficult to recover. So we start feeding here, and they never gonna be thin after 3 weeks inside the hood box.
And how long are they staying in those boxes before you take them to Santarém?
Usually 2 at 3 weeks.
Ok. Donc en fait là, ces poissons vont rester dans ces boîtes pendant 2 à 3 semaines, et donc ils vont les nourrir tous les jours. Histoire de les renforcer et de les faire épaissir pour qu'ils puissent facilement, en fin de compte, subir le voyage.
Now I try here put a picture how the fish change color after a few months. It's important. Many people don't know that because many people don't have wild discos. But here you see the fish in April 2017, and a fish in January 2006, and then a fish in April 2017. It changed a lot the stripes. Look.
Donc, vous pouvez donc voir la métamorphose du poisson après. Donc là, le poisson arrive en bas donc en avril 2017, et vous pouvez voir ensuite les couleurs. On voit bien la différence de jaune en janvier 2016. There is a problem with the date, because I think the arriving fish is down. No, it's
the arriving
is down or up?
Up. Is no stripes. The pattern is totally different. If you see after more or less 1 year, the fish is completely royal, and in this picture it looks like a smear.
Ah, ok. Donc on peut voir en fait le changement aussi donc des stries. Vous voyez, en janvier 2016, le poisson arrive, il est jaune avec pas tous les stries. Et puis on voit après quelques mois après, en avril 2017, regardez tous les stries en fin de compte, comment ils se sont développés sur le poisson.
And many people ask why the color changed so much. The color changed because the fish in aquarium don't have any kind of stress, and they are relaxed. They are calm down, so they don't need to run because some piranha comes to eat. So the fish have much color.
Sorry, because we get cut. So you tell me, like the fish have change color in the aquarium for which reason? Sorry.
Inside the aquarium, the fish don't have predators, so
Okay.
they don't have piranhas, and they recover the color more time when you relax and sea is no danger live in the aquarium.
Ok, donc en fait, les poissons vont changer de couleur tout simplement parce qu'il y a pas de prédateurs. Donc en fait, les poissons vont déstresser et ils seront moins comment dire, sur le qui-vive par rapport aux dangers qu'il pourrait y avoir en milieu naturel. Et donc, ils vont changer leur couleur à cause de ça.
Also, of course, the food, because we give a lot of different tropical food, and of course, in the environment, they don't have this kind of things. They don't have.
Alors, il y a aussi une raison importante que dit Victor, c'est que en gros, forcément, il y a aussi la nourriture, puisque la nourriture donc de chez Tropical, en gros, va leur faire un éclat de couleur et va les renforcer, leur renforcer le système immunitaire. Et ça, bien évidemment, ils le trouvent pas au milieu naturel.
Here we're gonna see Elise try to select some fish by the customer, because the customer sends the picture and we have a small iPad and we try to find where is the fish because the small detail.
Donc là, vous pouvez voir Elise qui est en train de travailler pour faire des photos pour montrer les poissons sur Internet et sur les sites Internet. Et donc, elle va passer du temps pour pouvoir montrer les petits détails de chaque poisson et l'importance, en fin de compte, des formes, des couleurs et donc des petits détails de chaque poisson.
Yes, because not just in Portugal, also in Amazon, we sell the fish one by one. So we take pictures for all the fish and the customer selects all the fish they want.
Et donc, en fait, ils font cette technique-là parce qu'en gros, comme en Amazonie, comme au Portugal, en fait, ils vendent les poissons un par un. Donc, du coup, en gros, ça veut dire que chaque poisson est photographié et vendu à un client par le biais des photos. Donc, chaque poisson, en fin de compte, a sa photo.
Oui, c'est fini la présentation. So we can start with some questions if someone has questions. Oh, I have a lot of them. Laurent, wow.
David.
Laurent, ça va bien?
Salut, salut Delo.
Sébastien. Bob Dunk from Spain.
Bonjour Dan.
We have also someone, Benoit. Bonjour, bonjour.
Oui, Benoit aussi.
Alfredo, ¿cómo vas? Tranquilo. Gracias por venir. Also, someone in Spain, I suppose. Luís Pereira from Portugal. Boa noite, Luís, bem-vindo. In Germany, we don't have this, but autos, both very beautiful. Thank you for coming. Temos alguém de Portugal, César Pinto. Boa noite, Mike. E temos what kind of filtration perfect for the white discus. Okay, so this is one question, but I think you have one important question, right, Pascal?
Yes.
Willy, mon ami, Willy.
Yes, je suis sûr. I'm sure there is so many questions. I know already a lot of those people tonight, and there is, of course, one of the first question I have in mind is okay, the quality of water. When we see your fish, okay, they look amazing. You know, they breathe slowly. They arrive super fat. So, like we speak together before about it, I think the quality of the water, but also the filtration must be one part of the key, right?
Yes, I think so. But important to say, it's I try to make all the same, and I don't like to put many products in the water.
Donc,
So
je posais donc la question à Victor. Bien évidemment, quand on voit ces poissons, les poissons sont épais, avec des formes, des couleurs exceptionnelles. Et donc, la question était de savoir en fait quel était le secret. C'était quoi son secret pour pouvoir avoir des poissons en aussi bonne santé. En clair, comment est-ce qu'il fait avec son eau et quel type de filtration il utilise. Sa première réponse, en fait, c'est d'abord, il n'aime pas dénaturer l'eau et il essaie d'avoir l'eau la plus simple possible.
yes, it's important. My advice all the time, it's if we have a good tape water, I just to use tape water. I don't use osmos. I don't put any kind of products in the water.
Donc,
If
ces recommandations, en fait, c'est que si vous avez la possibilité, enfin, d'utiliser l'eau du robinet, faites-le. En gros, de pouvoir garder des poissons avec l'eau du robinet, c'est l'idéal.
And why? Because if we put many things in the water, we don't have, we cannot keep the true water. We change a lot the water, and it's very difficult to stable. You understand? So it's because I don't like to put many things in the water. I just put the pit turf. I use catapas, biohome, and just perlon, nothing more. Perlon, that white things, you know.
Alors pour lui, en fait, forcément, si on modifie trop les paramètres d'origine, ensuite ça devient très compliqué de garder les paramètres stables. Hein. Donc là, moi tout de suite, j'ai une autre question à poser à Victor. C'est OK, si j'ai une eau du robinet bonne, tant mieux. Mais si par exemple j'habite dans un endroit où l'eau du robinet est dure, voire très dure, comment je fais? So of course, I have another question for you. Of course, we understand that if the tap water is good, it's the best, and then to keep parameters stable. But in case of you live in a place where the tap water is not very good, what do you recommend?
Well, if it's not very good, if they have the pH too high and the microsiemens too high, of course we need to use some osmosis. But when I say too high, it's the pH with 8, because if you use pit turf and catapas, I'm sure the quantity depends on the quantity of pit turf you use. The pit turf gonna down the pH, and we can have from 8 we can have 7.2 and perhaps 7 and 6.8, depend the quantity of pit turf.
Donc en fait, bien évidemment, si vous êtes dans une zone où vous avez une eau qui est très très dure, bien là, voilà, Victor, dans ce cas-là, vous dira forcément que l'utilisation de l'eau osmosée sera nécessaire. Mais par contre, sur des eaux où le KH n'est pas trop haut et le pH, mettons, est à 7, 8, 8, l'utilisation en fait de la tourbe permet de faire descendre le pH plus bas pour que ce soit acceptable pour les sauvages. So Victor, I have another question. If for example, the KH and the pH is a little bit too high and I'm using pit, what is the parameter accepted? If you can't reach KH1 and pH 6.8, for example, what kind of pH and KH and conductivity the people could use to be able to keep the wild?
Well, this is true. What I want to say, of course, and I visit my customer in China. I suppose 8 years ago, and he have a pH 7.8 and 400 microsiemens, and the fish are in perfect health.
Oh.
So the fish, they lives with 5.5, okay, but if with time the fish can adapt for a new water and can live in 7.8, 7.6, 7.5. The problem is the color of the fish. If you have down the pH, the fish have much more color, of course. But when we have pH too high, sometimes we need to use some osmosis, of course.
Ok, donc Victor dit qu'en fait, il a eu des clients qui ont gardé en fin de compte des poissons à l'eau du robinet à des pH jusqu'à 7-8 et les poissons, comme on dit, très bien. Voilà, donc comme il dit aussi, bien sûr, plus le pH est bas et plus vous aurez forcément des couleurs exceptionnelles sur les poissons.
So what is important to understand is the water is the most important for the discus, of course. So the water is very complicated. We cannot change too much the water if we start put many things in the water. And if we put many things in the water, is under control, and we cannot control anymore the water.
Alors là aussi, c'est pareil, ce qu'il explique en fait, ce qu'il faut, c'est essayer de trafiquer le moins possible l'eau. En fait, plus vous allez en fait rajouter des choses dans l'eau, et plus au bout d'un moment, ça va être difficile à contrôler, spécialement si ça a un impact chimique sur l'eau.
It's because that I don't like resin to take out nitrates and nitrates. I like to keep everything in the simple way, you understand? So not expend too much money and keep the water stable, more stable as possible. Like I tell you, the best way is prepare the water like you do. I know you do that, and you prepare the water in a tank, and when you want to make a change of water, the pH must be the same, cannot be two different pH.
Ok, donc comme il disait, en gros, donc l'idéal c'est de rajouter le moins possible de choses dans l'eau. Il est contre les résines, tout ce qui va, des nitrateurs et descendeurs de pH qui peut influencer encore une fois la chimie de l'eau. Pour lui, en gros, il explique que le travail d'une eau du robinet avec donc de la tourbe dans une cuve de préparation, vous allez laisser tremper tout ça, remuer avec comment dire une pompe, et ça permettra de faire descendre doucement en fin de compte le pH pour atteindre le même pH dans la cuve de préparation que dans l'aquarium. Et à partir de là, ensuite, vous pourrez faire des changements d'eau.
Of course, that takes time. And if you have a big tank for prepare the water, it's much better. And because you need to put turf, and you see the different value of the turf. And okay, we have a question here. Is in Portuguese. What is the media of nitrates? I have 10 for 25 ppm, and I have made a change of water of 10%. In 2 days. So, like I have tell you, thanks Mike Simão for obrigado pela pergunta. Like I have tell you to Pascal, I just recommend change the water of wild discus when we have more than 25 ppm of nitrates. Why? Because if the water don't have nitrates, why you want to change the water? It's not necessary.
Ok, donc ce que dit Victor, c'est que donc par rapport à une question, il y a quelqu'un qui avait un petit problème de nitrite, il avait 10 ppm. Victor dit qu'en fait, l'idéal, c'est d'éviter de faire des changements d'eau, et que en gros, si vous n'avez pas des nitrites qui montent jusqu'à 25, à partir de là, ça sert à rien en fait de faire des changements d'eau. Ça permet de laisser vieillir l'eau et les poissons s'en portent que mieux.
Yes, another question. It's Ciporax is fine or BioHome is much better? Well, I think for me and for my experience last year with BioHome, it's much better. Also, when we make any medicament with Ciporax, it's very easy to have with medicaments and ammonia. With BioHome, is more difficult to have ammonia with medicaments because BioHome, if you cut the BioHome, you see is a part who leaves a lot of bacteria, and it's very difficult to kill that bacteria. So much better the BioHome.
Ok, comme il disait, qu'est-ce qui était mieux entre Ciporax et BioHome pour la filtration? En fait, so you say, sorry, because we get cut a little bit in the middle, you say it's better BioHome or Ciporax?
It's better BioHome. Why? Because the inside the BioHome, if you cut the BioHome, you see a part who don't well, we have some bacteria, very difficult to the water goes inside and destroy them. It's like you understand? It's like
porosity. En fait, donc il dit qu'en gros, dans la comparaison, en fin de compte, entre le Ciporax et le BioHome, il a de meilleurs résultats avec le BioHome, car si vous cassez un BioHome et que vous regardez à l'intérieur, en fait, par la porosité, vous pouvez voir que les bactéries, en fin de compte, restent vraiment au centre du BioHome, et donc c'est difficile de tuer la bactérie au centre du BioHome.
That it's when we made some medicaments, of course. When we made some medicaments, we destroy part of the bacteria in the aquarium. With BioHome, it's more difficult to destroy that bacteria.
Et donc, en cas d'utilisation donc de médicaments, forcément, les médicaments tuent un petit peu toujours donc les bactéries. Et donc, c'est pour ça qu'avec BioHome, ça permet de résister un petit peu aux médicaments et ça évite que toutes les bactéries, en fin de compte, soient détruites.
Well, we don't have more questions, but perhaps you have some more, Pascal.
Yes, I do. I have so many. Okay, so next question is, if I want to prepare like a good filtration for my aquarium, so of course now I know I will choose BioHome to help for the biology, okay? And so how do I know how much BioHome I need to put in my filtration to be able to have a good balance with the number of the fish that I want to put in my aquarium?
Well, it's important to say I recommend 40 liters for fish, 14 liters for each fish, adult fish. Okay, so more, I think it's too much fish inside the aquarium. And about BioHome, my advice is 1 kilo for 100 liters of water.
Alors donc, un point important aussi à dire, c'est que Victor dit qu'il ne faut pas passer en dessous de la barre des 40 litres par poisson. Si vous le faites, vous commencez vraiment à jouer dangereusement avec la santé des poissons. Et par rapport à l'utilisation des BioHome, en fait, il va recommander donc 1 kilo pour 100 litres, d'aquarium.
Look, it's if you want to put, for example, 1 kilo for 20 liters, you don't lose nothing, because each more material filtration you have, better for the fish. That I'm sure of that.
Ok. Donc, comme il dit, bien évidemment, voilà, c'est une base, un ratio. Maintenant, si vous en mettez encore plus, ça ne sera pas néfaste pour les poissons. En fait, plus vous allez mettre en clair de BioHome dans votre filtration, et mieux ce sera pour les poissons.
Okay, another one, if you have. Have you more questions, Pascal?
Yes, I do.
That's good.
So now we're still in about filtration, huh? Now that I'm using this filtration, so I have this bio part and I have also a mechanic part. what is the most important? Biology, does the biology have to be very important and the mechanic as well? Or is it better to have a big biology and just a little bit of mechanic? And how do I clean it? Do I have to clean my filtration or never touch?
Well, not easy question. I don't clean too much my filtration. What I clean is just the perlon, that white things, and I most of the time I remove and put new one. But I never touch in the biohome, and some Ciporax I also have, and I also some from tropical. So I never move or take out or clean that part of the filtration. And for me, what I think is important, it's a big quantity of biohome or Ciporax, matrix, doesn't matter. And the biological filtration, I think it's the better we can have. Like I have told you, no resins, nothing of that, because it's very difficult to control the water when we change a lot. You know, my opinion. Okay, just my opinion.
Alors, comme dit Victor, donc en gros, lui, il nettoie quasiment jamais en fait sa filtration. Les seules choses qu'il va en fait nettoyer, c'est le perlon, la ouate, hein, qui va carrément enlever pour en mettre une nouvelle. Mais en matière sur la biologie, en tout cas, il touchera à rien. D'accord? Another question is also related to this filtration. What is your recommend of liter per hour? Then you have to use like how many time per hour I need to filtrate my aquarium?
Wow, minimum 5 times in 1 hour.
Okay.
Well, of course, you can look. You can have a filtration who made in 1 hour filtration the water, but if you make 2 hours, it's much better. If it's 3 hours, it's much better. 5 hours, I think, in one filtration, run 5 times the water, I think is perfect. Also, is important for the wild discos. They don't like the water with a lot of movement. Okay, you remember you sent me an image with a lot of things in the water, and I asked you, what is that? Is oxygen? Because I'm afraid you have a very big current, and the wild discos don't like water with a lot of movement. They like the water very calm, you understand, like they have in most of the communities.
Alors, donc Victor, lui, il recommande, donc pour lui, en fait, lui, il filtre ses bacs 5 fois par heure. Donc ça, c'est un point aussi très important. Et il essaye de faire en sorte qu'il n'y ait pas de mouvement fort, en fait, dans les aquariums. Pour lui, en fait, les sauvages n'aiment pas, en fait, les mouvements trop brusques dans l'aquarium. Ils aiment les eaux calmes.
We have just one question important here. It's from César Pinto. I don't know if you can read this in French. You understand the Portuguese?
No, I don't speak Portuguese. Sorry.
He asked if it's possible to have 0 parasites in aquarium with our fish.
Donc, donc on a une question d'une personne qui demande si c'est possible d'avoir 0 parasite dans un aquarium.
Well, my opinion, it's impossible. Okay, we cannot have fish 0 parasites. Look, we made quarantines in Amazon. We made quarantines when they arrived to Portugal, and we know in 4,000 of fish we keep, and we make medicaments to lose most of the parasites. I don't know the percentage. I cannot tell you if it's 10%, 20%. But the fish, all the time, some of them, they keep the parasites, and they need to have a new quarantine. So most of them, the parasites die, but it's impossible to have zero parasites. I don't believe that. I don't believe in zero parasites in aquarium. I don't believe it's possible, but I don't believe.
Alors, la question était de savoir si donc on pouvait avoir des sauvages qui ont donc zéro parasite. La réponse de Victor, c'est que pour lui, non. Parce que tout organisme vivant, en fin de compte, a des parasites et que malgré les quarantaines et malgré donc une batterie de protocoles pour essayer de réduire un maximum les parasites, le poisson vivra toujours avec des parasites internes. Correct me if I'm wrong, Vitor, but so it must be the immunitary system. If the fish is in good health, that's the immunitary system actually will keep the parasite in control. And then if the fish is not in a good environment and if the fish start to get weak, this is how then after the parasite get released, right?
Of course, 100% sure of that. Look, if you have a fish fat with a head like this size, you know, sometimes we have some fish like this, they can have parasites. They can have eczema. Okay, it's not because the fish is fat, he don't have nothing. But the problem or not, it's if the fish are fat and with a good health, if he have eczema, he never gonna die because we have time to put medicaments and kill the parasites. Okay, so what's important is, like you say, they have immunity. Okay, and be strong, be fatly. To if he have something, he can recover and don't die.
Donc voilà, comme dit Victor, donc en gros c'est bien le système immunitaire en clair qui va permettre aux poissons de pouvoir garder ces parasites en lui. Et en fait, donc ça va être bien évidemment la maintenance qui va lui permettre tout simplement de pouvoir garder comme une forme et une résistance. Il a au cours de son expérience trouvé des poissons qui étaient pourtant très épais et pourtant qui ont des vers à l'intérieur ou qui ont eu de l'hexamita. Donc ça va vraiment en fait dépendre du chemin du poisson et de sa maintenance bien sûr en aquarium.
About this question from the German, yes, of course, it's possible to have 6 Alton in 400 liters of aquarium, no problem. Maximum, of course, it's impossible to have, if follow our opinion, it's impossible to have zero parasite. Sebastian, ça va bien? I'm considered to using tamines. No, what you want to have, it's perfect because the fish, the wild discus, loves tamines from the leaves, so it's important to have. So my advice is yes, of course, use because it's really good for the fish feel very comfortable. The water must be comfortable for the fish, and that tamines, it's very important.
Donc l'important c'est d'avoir une bonne eau et vous pouvez utiliser donc des vitamines pour que le poisson se renforce de manière naturelle. Une bonne alimentation, des vitamines, une eau à bon paramètre vous permettront de renforcer, de garder un système immunitaire en bonne santé.
I have another question. What do you think about antibiotics in the discus? Well, I don't use. I have used in the past. Just if I have a big problem in my aquarium, and I have in the past with hybrids like the pest. How I say in English, pest? I don't know. It's a black disease, and yes,
la peste noire.
And I have used some antibiotics, but usually I'm against the antibiotics. I try to use the things from Manaus Aquarium, like everybody knows. I use just 3. I use Octosil, Levamisil, and Bilocil, and also the Bactopur Direct if I have some bacterial problems. So.
Victor dit qu'en gros, il n'est pas vraiment pour les antibiotiques. Alors, bien évidemment, s'il se retrouve dans un cas de figure où il n'a pas le choix, apparemment, il aurait il aurait géré un poisson qui avait la peste noire et qui là, bah, en fait, il n'avait pas d'autre choix que d'utiliser des antibiotiques. Mais sinon, en règle générale, il est plutôt contre les antibiotiques. Il préférera plutôt utiliser des produits de chez Manaus comme Octosil, Biocil, Levamisil ou autres qui permettront de pouvoir travailler sur le poisson en externe ou en interne, mais contre les antibiotiques. Is your way of thinking of against the antibiotic is related to the immunity system? Do you think like antibiotic can put down the immune system?
Yes. Also, not just the immunity. We have a question here. What is your opinion about beef hurt? Okay, so let's speak about the medicaments like antibiotics or a lot of medicaments, what they do for the fish. One of the things is they can lose the immunity of the medicament, okay? So if you use many times Levamisil, perhaps one day Levamisil don't make nothing, okay? And the liver of the fish, the big problem, it's the liver of the fish. Liver, you know, in Portuguese figure. I learned many things with Andreas from Manaus Aquarium, the CEO from Manaus Aquarium. And what he say if we use a lot of medicaments, the liver gonna grow up, okay? And for example, if we use beef earth for feeding fish, the liver also grow up, and the fish cannot living for a long time because he's gonna die. He's gonna die very soon.
Ok, donc là-dessus, Victor nous disait qu'en fait, quand on utilise trop les médicaments, et même ceux de Manaus, hein, au bout d'un moment, ça peut affecter les poissons. Donc, comme certains médicaments, comme l'Evamisil par exemple, qui, à force de l'utilisation, peut amener à avoir le ventre qui grossit. Eh bien, il fait une comparaison aussi avec donc le cœur de bœuf, qui, au bout d'un moment, si vous en donnez trop, ça peut dénaturer aussi la digestion du poisson et aussi dénaturer en fait l'estomac du poisson au bout d'un certain moment.
So I don't recommend to give beef hurt for the fish. Okay, look, if the fish are thin, okay, you can use mussels. It's a lot of protein, and the fish loves. I think I have tell you that mussels. You know, and sometimes I put some vitamins, and well, the fish loves. And also, it's important to say when we made some medicaments, when we made the quarantines, all the time, the week after we start use vitamins for the fish recover. You know, because also the medicament sometimes they don't eat so much. They stop eating. So we need the fish recover. We need to put some vitamins. It's more quick for recovery.
Alors Victor dit que sur des poissons très maigres qui ont besoin de se retaper, en fait Victor recommande plutôt de donner par exemple des moules que du cœur de bœuf. Voilà, les moules d'ailleurs, ils en mangent tout ce qui est coquillages et autres dans leur milieu naturel, et que en gros ça leur amènera beaucoup plus de puissance et de force sans dégrader en fin de compte les estomacs, et en gros ça évitera aussi la prolifération ou la création de flagellés plus tard.
About this question, I recommend no more than 28 degrees. And why? because I try to make what I have seen in Amazon for 15 years, and the fish never have more than 25 degrees in the water. They have 26, 25, 27, sometimes 20, 28 in the summer, but no more than 28. It's no good.
Pour la température, donc Victor recommande 28 degrés en maintenance. Au cours de ses voyages, en fait, quand il a prélevé un peu les températures sur place, les températures avoisinaient 25, 26, 27, maximum 28 degrés, mais rarement au-dessus.
What do you think about wild discus with the pH 7.8, 6 in 214? Okay, I think 6 is the maximum of fish if you have a good filtration. And okay, the pH is a little high. I think in this case you need to use a good quantity of pit turf down the pH. The rest, I think it's not a problem.
We get cut. Sorry, Victor. What you can you repeat me just the start?
I tell the 214 liters. It's enough. It's no more than 6 fish. Okay.
Okay.
About the pH, in this case, Roberto Hernandes Tavera, gracias por a tua pergunta. É necessário 7.8 is a lot, so you need to use pit turf turbo.
Ah, ok. Donc en gros, 200 pour 240 litres, 6 poissons maximum, et ensuite pour pouvoir aider le poisson dans sa maintenance au quotidien, utiliser en fin de compte de la tourbe, ça te permettra de pouvoir garder tes poissons en bonne santé et de faire descendre ton pH un petit peu plus bas. 7.8, c'est un peu haut.
What kind of light I recommend? I don't recommend light. Well, you can use the light, but a very not strong lights, and use just when you see the fish. Electricity is expensive all over the world, so you don't need to put all the day light in the fish. And the wild discus don't like light. They live inside the trunks, in the trees, so they don't like power lights. It's my opinion. It's what I see and what I made.
Ah ouais. Victor dit qu'en gros, par rapport à la lumière, comme on en avait parlé auparavant, il recommande fortement de ne pas mettre de lumière violente forte dans les aquariums. Au contraire, plutôt tamiser. Les lumières tamisées, c'est comme en milieu naturel. Quand il les a observées sur place, en fait, ils sont sous les arbres, sous les racines, et vraiment dans une partie très sombre. Et il y a très peu de lumière, donc les sauvages n'aiment pas la lumière violente.
If you have a strong light, for example, if you have a tank with a lot of plants, you need to have light for the plants, okay? But if you have some discos there, you need to have some trucks and some place for the fish hide of the lights strong. You understand? So you can have plants, you can have everything in aquarium, but if you want to have the wild discus, you need to have places for the fish hide for the light. You understand? To don't have the light too strong in the head.
Pour les amoureux des plantes, ceux qui aimeraient garder donc et des poissons, donc des discus sauvages et de jolies plantes, en clair, forcément, il vous faudra de la lumière pour les plantes. Mais dans ce cas-là, Victor recommande en fait de mettre une partie, une racine ou quelque chose qui va faire qu'en fait le poisson va pouvoir se mettre en dessous et ne subira pas en fin de compte la lumière au quotidien. En fait, s'il a envie d'y aller, il ira, mais sinon, en fait, là, en règle générale, moi, c'est pareil dans mon aquarium. J'ai beaucoup de racines en suspension et souvent mes discus en fait se retrouvent en dessous parce qu'ils aiment être en protection dans la pénombre.
About the brand of light, for me, the best I have seen with the best LEDs is the Twin Star. I think is one of the best in the market, but it's too strong. You need to have something to down a little the quantity of light. twin star. Perhaps you know the kind of flight.
Alors, Victor aussi dit que lui, voilà, sur ses choix de lumière, en fait, il recommande plutôt la lumière Twin Star. Mais c'est une lumière qui peut être assez puissante et donc il faut la régler au minimum pour pouvoir mettre une bonne lumière tamisée.
Yes, a tank with this size is perfect. More big is the tank, better is for the Discus and better is for the quality of water. If you have a tank with 200 liters, it's more difficult to keep the quality of the water. If you have 1,000 of liters, it's more simple and more easy. So much water, more easy to keep the wild Discus.
Donc pareil, donc pour les poissons, forcément, plus vous aurez des aquariums gros et plus la maintenance sera facile. Hein, bien évidemment, si les variations de paramètres en fait seront atténuées et les poissons, forcément, avec un gros volume, se sentiront toujours mieux que dans un petit aquarium.
Okay, no more question. Pascal, do you have?
Oh yes, always. Okay. Sur la nourriture, comment est-ce que tu recommandes de donner les différents produits de Tropical au cours de la journée? Like during your day, how do you feed your Discus with the tropical food? Like I know there is like so many like 50D, Pro Defense, Spirulina. So how do you manage to have an equilibrium meal?
Okay, so I have a guy, a worker, and also a friend who do that every day, and we try to give 5 times a day food. So we start every day with the Pro Defense. Okay, so we give Pro Defense to all the fish. It's important to say Pro Defense change the formula. The new one down very quick to the bottom of the aquarium. The last one, I need to put some water for down. This one, when we put it down immediately, it's important because the fish like to eat in the bottom of the aquarium. So I give Pro Defense, and during the day we try to change. We give, for example, 3 algae, and then we give D15, and then we give some spirulina. Next day we give dialue, and then we give some acecolor, and then we give. We try to mix every day the food. Just the Pro Defense we give in the day and in the end of the day. And of course, not a big quantity. We try to see if we eat everything. If they eat, they repeat. And okay, 5 times, it's perfect.
Ok, donc Victor dit que lui commence généralement sa journée en donnant du Pro Defense et que après derrière il va varier. Donc, soit par exemple de la spiruline 3 algues, puis après il donnera de la stacolore ou du 50D. Enfin voilà, son but, si vous voulez, c'est de varier en fin de compte les menus de manière à ce que ça change au quotidien. Il a aussi notifié que le produit 50D avait changé de chez Pro Defense. Avant, il avait tendance un petit peu à flotter en surface et que maintenant, le nouveau produit en fait descend beaucoup plus rapidement en fait au sol et ça permet en fin de compte d'éviter que la nourriture aille dans la filtration et qu'en fait les poissons puissent le manger tout de suite au sol.
Another question: it's real then wild females are really hard to get into the spherical. Okay, so let's speak about breeding. My experience breeding it's with hybrid fish. I have bred a lot of hybrid fish in the past. In the last 15 years, I just work with wild Discus. And the last year, we start have some couples. And what I see in the couples of wild discos is they need more or less 6 months to 1 year, and sometimes more time, to start breeding. Okay, so takes time for the couple start breeding. They can dancing, they can make everything, but to spanning takes time. And I don't think it's hard. I think it's just a question of time. And what I see in the difference between the hybrids and the wilds is, until now, I don't have one couple who have eat the eggs. So when a female put the eggs and the male put the salmon, they never eat the eggs. Never, never, ever have eat the eggs until now. And something interesting is the quantity of eggs. The quantity of eggs is unbelievable. Each time the couple puts some eggs, we have 200, 300, and perhaps 400, because one of the breedings, we have near 400 fish, small babies. So I never have this in the hybrid, just in the wilds. And I suppose also is the quality of the food. I think the ProDefense with the probiotic also put the fish more healthy, and when they breed, they put much more eggs. It's something I can speak much better in the next years, but because we start now, and we have some couples, I have some babies. I arrive with some delay because I have changed for the second time the water for the small babies, and they grow up very, very fast. And well, we are testing water, food, how many times we need to change the water. So we start testing because we have the room, building the new room just to breeding. And I think next month, end of May, we have everything ready to start the new project. And then I can speak much better because we need experience, of course. Okay.
Hello, sorry, I get cut at the end. So, donc, comme disait Victor, en fait, voilà, là, ça fait 2 ans, en fin de compte, qu'il partait sur un projet de reproduction, que en gros, il a vu que grâce au ProDefense, les pontes avaient changé, que depuis, en fait, il y avait eu de plus en plus d'œufs. Avant, ces pontes avaient plutôt 100, 150, 200 œufs. Et là, sur ces dernières pontes, en fait, les œufs pouvaient monter jusqu'à 400. Voilà, donc en gros, pour lui, il est persuadé que c'est une question de temps. Ça veut dire qu'en fait, il faut laisser du temps aux poissons. Ça peut des fois prendre jusqu'à 1 an pour que les poissons se sentent bien, se choisissent et puis décident de pondre. Et un autre point aussi très important, ça va être la nourriture qui va permettre aux poissons d'avoir envie de se reproduire et de faire des pontes qui réussissent.
Also, something I think is not important, but many people say I have much more males than females in the wilds. It's some curiosity. We have more females than males, and that is just experience. Okay, it's my opinion. I think most of our fish, they are round, and I think the round fish, most of them, they are females.
Donc dans sa sélection, en fait, souvent il y avait des gens qui lui disaient est-ce que tu as plutôt des mâles et tout, ou plutôt des femelles? Et en fait, en clair, depuis maintenant un petit moment, Victor se rend compte que, donc lui, dans sa sélection, bien évidemment, il a toujours cherché à avoir des poissons très ronds. Et en fait, il s'aperçoit que généralement, les poissons très ronds, en fait, sont souvent plus des femelles que des mâles.
Oui. Let's see in the future. In the future, I can speak a little bit about this because I just speak about what I know. So if I don't know, I don't speak. But experience is the best way to speak about something. So I need to have more time breathing while discuss to speak about that.
Ouais.
But
pour l'instant, ouais, il dit que c'est pas une affirmation, enfin, pour l'instant, ça reste un projet puisqu'il est en construction de fiche room, d'une fiche room là, d'une nouvelle fiche room, et que en gros, généralement, il aime pas parler de ce qu'il connaît pas. Donc là, ça fait que 2 ans maintenant qu'il se lance dans ce projet-là. Donc il attend d'avoir un petit peu plus de recul pour pouvoir donner plus d'informations sur les pontes et sur les manières d'arriver à faire reproduire les poissons.
Just back for your question, what kind of food, you remember? Let's just say about this. If we have time and if we are near the fish, we can give more than 5 times food, okay, Pascal? Example, if you stay at home, and with the COVID, many people stay at home, if you give 10 times food for the fish, that's okay. Look, if you give food and they eating, after 10 minutes, you can make the same. Why? I don't know if you have looking, of course you have looking, but the fish, the discus have a very small mouth, okay? But also the stomach and the stomach, the intestine, but the stomach is very small. So they make the digestion very quick, okay? So if we put the food, they eating, and after 10 minutes you put more and they eating, it's perfect. You can make that many times a day if you have time, of course. So if you are work at home and you have the aquarium near you, you can give food, eat, food, eat. Okay, we put food, you don't eat, that's enough. Okay. So when I say 5 times, if I have time and my worker have time, we give 10 times. But we have a lot of aquariums. We cannot have time to see the fish have eat and put more, eat and put more. For us, it's very difficult. But for who have aquarium at home, can do that.
Donc, ce que dit, et ça c'est très intéressant aussi, ce que dit Victor, en fait, c'est que, bon voilà, quand il nous a dit que tout à l'heure qu'il donnait 5 fois par jour, voilà, 5 fois par jour, c'est quand c'est parce que voilà, il a beaucoup d'aquariums, il a beaucoup de poissons et que du coup il a quand même pas mal de choses à gérer dans la journée. Mais il dit que dans cette période de Covid, beaucoup de gens passent du temps chez eux en ce moment et que en fait, des fois il vaut mieux même pouvoir donner 10 fois par jour. Mais en fait, au lieu de donner 5 fois des quantités plus grosses, il vaut mieux donner de petites quantités, en fait, et venir donner comme ça, petit à petit, régulièrement dans la journée. Ça peut aller jusqu'à 10 fois, en fait, en donnant de la petite quantité, puisque c'est ce qu'il expliquait aussi, les discus ont des petites bouches, mais aussi des petits estomacs. Et donc, en fait, ils ont tendance à pouvoir digérer rapidement. Donc en fait, en simple, si vous donnez de petites quantités et que le poisson continue de manger, eh ben, il faut continuer à leur donner à manger jusqu'au bout d'un moment où vous verrez que les poissons ne voudront plus manger. Et dans ce cas-là, ça veut dire que c'est bon, ils ont suffisamment mangé pendant un moment.
C'est ça. Je ne parlerai pas rien de français. If I speak with you for 1 week or 2 weeks, yes,
he comes back, yeah.
My French comes again, you know. But if I speak just a few times, it's very difficult to speak French because I don't remember. I'm not so young.
No problem. This is why that was a good idea, you know, to be able to do this tonight, because I'm sure he's gonna bring a lot of tricks to a lot of people, and it was a shame then French people couldn't get access to your experience. So this is why that was actually the idea of it.
Yes, and you know, Pascal, it's a lot of people who still have some afraid to have wild discus, you know. Because in the past, I also have 2 shops in Portugal, and I have imported many wild discus, and they die in my shop. So when I think about wild discus in the past, it's some fish I cannot keep. And what I try, and my team and my staff, and also in Amazon in Portugal, is working every day to put the fish with a good health that everybody can have. Because if you buy a fish with good health, it's like a team. I put the fish with good health, so you need to make the same like us for a long time. If you're looking for the fish, if you're feeding well the fish, if you care the fish, you're gonna have the fish for a long time. And but if I don't make the quarantines, if I don't care about the nutrition, it's impossible. It's impossible. The quarantine is very important when the fish goes out from the environment. You understand? That is the key of the success. Is make the quarantine in Amazon, and then when they arrive, we make again quarantine. Also, we never have rush. We never want to sell the fish quick. We like to keep the fish for a long time, see well the fish, more color, and then sold. Because if we make that, I know you're gonna have success. You know. So keep wild discus is very easy. It's very easy. I think it's more easy than keep hybrid discus because it's more resistant, and you have one fish who arrive with a big delay. Remember?
Yeah, of course.
And if he's a hybrid fish, for sure he's gonna die. But is a wild and is strong. You know, they are very strong fish. It's more easy to keep wild discus with good health when you buy with good health than a hybrid discus. My opinion, ok.
Donc, ce qui explique Victor aussi, c'est que voilà, c'est l'importance des quarantaines. En fait, pour lui, il a vraiment évolué là-dessus. D'abord, la quarantaine donc à Santarém, avant le grand voyage. Donc là, il y a tout un protocole de quarantaine qui permet aux poissons déjà de se débarrasser de plein de parasites et de se renforcer. Et ensuite, après le voyage, quand il arrive au Portugal, en fait, les poissons refont encore une quarantaine. En fait, ce qu'il explique, c'est que pour lui, il dit que les sauvages, en fait, sont des poissons très résistants, voire même plus résistants que les hybrides. Et que, en fait, ça fait maintenant plusieurs années qu'il essaye, en fait, de prendre son temps avec les poissons. Donc, il les garde plusieurs mois, il les renforce. Il prend vraiment son temps avant de vendre les poissons, qu'ils aient de belles couleurs, qu'ils soient bien épais, bien renforcés, pour que quand les gens en fait puissent recevoir les poissons, que en gros les poissons soient avec un système immunitaire fort et qu'ils puissent garder les poissons pendant très longtemps. Pour lui, Victor dit qu'en clair, il n'y a aucune raison de ne pas garder des sauvages pendant des années. Voilà, si le poisson est bien est dans un aquarium, dans un environnement avec une eau qui est bonne pour lui, bien nourrie et haute, avec un bon système immunitaire, donc la sélection du poisson est primordiale. Il ne faut pas aller acheter des poissons maigres ou avec une forme qui montre que le poisson va pas bien. Donc le critère déjà de sélection en amont, il est capital. Et puis bien évidemment après derrière une maintenance qui fait que vous réunissez en fait tous les ingrédients pour que les poissons durent le plus longtemps possible.
We have another question. It's common to find wild discus over 8 each. I don't know how much is 8 each, but I suppose it's 20 centimeters. This is an American way to see the size of the fish. I think Pascal have a fish with 18 or near 19, the big one.
Yeah, the big one. Yeah, big fish.
Is the monster. Well, we have seen in trombetas many fish with that size, okay? But it is also important to say we take some small fish from the environment with 12 centimeters, and with the nutrition and the quarantines we made, when they arrive Portugal, I have many fish who arrive with 12 and they are with 14 and 15 now. So the quality of the food is very important, and also the water. But if you're feeding 5 times, if you give probiotics, if you give a good quality of water, they grow up very quick. In the environment, yes, I have seen fish with 20, 21, no more. No. If I say 25, I'm a liar. I have seen 21, the biggest, no more.
Donc, par rapport à la taille des poissons, en règle générale, voilà, les poissons qu'il importe font plutôt aux alentours de 14, 15, 16 cm, mais ça lui arrive des fois de tomber sur des grosses pièces. Bien évidemment, le but, c'est d'avoir des grosses pièces avec des petits yeux, voilà, de manière à ce que le poisson soit quand même dans un jeune. Mais les plus gros poissons, voilà, les plus gros poissons qu'il a vus en milieu naturel faisaient 20, 21 cm maximum.
And also depend the communities. For example, Cuipewa, many people know this place, the red fish, and I never see a Cuipewa with more than 16. So.
Oui. Ça dépend aussi de l'endroit. Ça dépend aussi de l'endroit où vous pêchez. Il y a des lacs comme par exemple le lac QPA où clairement les poissons ils dépassent pas 14-15 parce que selon les régions, en fin de compte, les tailles vont correspondre à la région.
Je pense. I think it's the DNA.
L'ADN.
Yeah.
Ok. Donc là-dessus aussi, pareil, Victor pense que c'est carrément dans l'ADN des poissons, en fait, tout simplement d'une génération à l'autre, en fait, ils gardent les tailles en fonction de leur région.
It's also because that I want to breed the fish from the same place. For example, I never gonna breed an ankle with the Cuipewa. I gonna breed the ankle with the ankle. I'm gonna breed the Cuipewa with the Cuipewa, trombetas from Iripichi with the trombetas from Iripichi. I don't want to mix the communities because I think the F1, for me, still a wild F1 because the fathers and the mother is wild. I think that the F1 still a wild. I think F1 must be F0 because still wild blood. Need to be pure, the same community, the same genetic is what I want to make in the future, not mixing.
Mais Victor, là-dessus, voilà, sur ses projets en fait de reproduction, en clair, lui, il veut garder en fin de compte la génétique, c'est-à-dire qu'en fait, il va choisir un mâle et une femelle Iripixie ou un mâle et une femelle Trombetas. En fait, il veut essayer de préserver tout simplement les génétiques. Il pense aussi que les appellations F1, en fait, pour lui, ne devraient pas être appelées F1, puisque pour lui, deux wild qui s'accouplent et qui ont une ponte, en fait, vont créer des wild. Donc, en fait, les F1 devraient rester des F0, en fait. Voilà. Et après, pour lui, il essaie vraiment de respecter, en fin de compte, et de ne pas mixer les poissons de manière à garder justement dans les gènes, dans l'ADN, chaque provenance, de manière à conserver leurs différences.
Pascal, more 1-2 questions?
Let's see. Yes, about conductivity. Like we talked about it before, during all the trip that you did and from all the books that I've been reading, wild Discus always lived in a very, very low conductivity in a natural environment. So what is your opinion of keeping wild Discus in a low conductivity in the aquarium?
Well, it's very difficult. Why? Because if we have a very small conductivity, the water is very difficult to be stable. Okay, the pH.
Yes.
So, if we down a lot the conductivity, we cannot keep the pH stable. So, for example, if I want to put the water with 100 from conductivity, because I suppose the pH went down very quick, and that can be worse, can be bad for the fish, because if the pH, for example, is 5.5 and down for 4 or 3.8, we can have a problem with the acid, and the fish can be blind or can die. So it's like I say in the beginning today, it's impossible to keep the same water in aquarium like the water in Amazon. It's impossible. But we can try, and if it's just to keep the fish, the conductivity is not is not a problem. Okay, it's just to keep. Of course, if we want to breed, it's better we have 300 microsiemens or less. But for keep, conductivity is not a problem. Well, sometimes we speak about that. Conductivity we can have 300 because it's stable the pH. We have 400. It's not a big problem. But if we can have a stable water, is the best way. You know that, because if we have aquarium with 6.5 and we put the water with 7.5, well, the fish don't feel well, because it's a very big difference of pH. And they can be nervous, they can be with stress, the bars comes. So the best way is try to change the water with the same pH, you know. Well, it's my opinion. We have another question. What's the deal with keeping Miamunda Henkel? Now they are extremely delicate. Well, I don't have that feeling. I think the ankle is like the wild. It's a little more nervous. It's a little more stress fish in the beginning, but after a few months, it's a fish who comes eating in the hand. So it's not. You can keep the ankles with the others from others community, and it's not so delicate like many people think. It's a wild like others. So it's more difficult perhaps to breed, but it's a question of time. So
I have another question. We saw also many fishes, like we were talking about conductivity again, and I would like to have your advice on this. We saw sometime like fish who's getting disease, huh? Okay, and one of the most recurrent disease is eczemita, or what we call all in the head. Okay, and I heard like a different origin of eczemita. Okay, I would like to know for you, like for me, eczemita is a carence, huh? Okay, is a carence on something. So, do you think eczemita can come from carence from like a low conductivity, like water without mineral? Or more about carence of poor food?
Poor food, less minerals, because if you have a conductivity, a small conductivity, for example, 100 microsiemens, you don't have so many minerals in the water. So it's because that it's more easy to the fish have eczemita, for me, for my opinion. And of course, the bad quality of food and the bad quality of water. Where they come the eczemita, I don't know. Many people say all the fish have eczemita. I don't believe that. I think eczemita comes, and if the fish don't have that immunity, it's more easy to the eczemita destroy the fish and kill the fish. If it's a fish strong, eczemita can finish with octocil, for example, 1-2 treatments, and the fish gonna be okay. So I think eczemita it's a problem in all the discos, like gyrodactyls and dactylogills, and but we need to finish with them. And the best way it's every day we observe the fish, you know, because we can read many things. We can read all the groups in Facebook, articles, books, but I think that the key of success is looking for the fish. It's looking every day and care about the fish. I think for have fish in an aquarium, we need to love them. That is a question of love. If we have fish just to looking for them and you don't care about the fish, you're never going to be success. It's my opinion. It's my opinion. So, and each one have a different experience. You have your experience. I have my experience, and all of them. It's nice to speak about because they are all different. And I learn with you. I learn with many customers with the experience of each other. So it's the best way is listen what the people say. You know.
Okay. Je l'avais demandé donc à Victor qu'est-ce qu'on pensait, qu'est-ce que lui pensait en fin de compte de l'examita, qui est une maladie quand même assez récurrente qu'on voit souvent sur les posts sur Facebook et autres. Et en gros, à savoir pour moi en fait plusieurs types d'origines, hein, soit un problème de manque de minéraux dans l'eau, ou soit aussi un amalgame de nourriture peu riche. Voilà, et donc Victor, pour lui, confirme bien, enfin voilà, après c'est chacun son expérience et autres, mais Victor là-dessus confirme bien que en gros, garder des poissons dans une eau avec très très peu de minéraux et avec une nourriture pauvre va amener forcément sur le long terme à un moment donné des problèmes. Si en plus vous avez un problème de filtration ou de qualité d'eau, eh ben, les problèmes risqueront de venir beaucoup plus rapidement. Donc, de maintenir en fait des poissons dans une conductivité aussi basse en fait que dans le milieu naturel, ça va être en fait compliqué. Voilà.
Okay, one more question. I don't have dinner, I have a lion in my stomach make noise. So I'm too delayed today. I arrived too late at home.
Okay.
Examita, I have my friend Felipe over from Portugal. How are you? Como estás, Felipe? Bem-vindo. Examita comes from the water and the poor quality of water and foods. I'm sure 100% of it.
Me too.
But it's something we can stop. It's something we don't stop if we don't looking for the fish. So most important is looking for the fish every day, and something I made and many people don't understand. Many people criticize, say bad things. I have all the day. I make pictures for the fish, okay? Because I love photography and I love Discus, so it's perfect. It's a symbiosis perfect. So when I make pictures, it's not just to put in a catalog or share the picture with the people who love Discus. When I make pictures and movie, it's also to see much better how is the fish. If he have holes in the head, if he have some problems in the gills. So when I make pictures, I open the picture and I see what the fish have looking exterior, okay? So pictures, and it's very important because many times we're looking for the fish and we don't see some small details. And is one of the reasons I made a lot of pictures. Is because I don't have so much time to looking all the fish every day. So I go to an aquarium, I make pictures, I'm looking well, I open the picture, and then I see if the fish have something or if need something. I know all this is work, it takes time, but it's my job, you know. It's my work.
Donc, comme disait Victor, en fait, le fait de faire des photos comme il fait très régulièrement, c'est pas uniquement juste pour mettre les poissons sur des catalogues. Ça lui permet aussi de pouvoir regarder les poissons de plus près. Des poissons qui peuvent avoir des marques, ou alors des trous ou quoi. Et donc, ça lui permet vraiment de pouvoir contrôler chaque poisson. Voilà, pour lui, en fait, il n'y a pas de secret. Il faut passer du temps devant ces aquariums. Il n'y a que comme ça qu'on peut avoir, en fin de compte, des résultats. Ça veut dire vraiment de l'observation et sur du long terme pouvoir voir comment les poissons vont évoluer. Voilà, donc ça se fait vraiment au fur et à mesure, petit à petit, quoi.
Yes, that's it. That's. We have.
Oh, go.
Flip over asks if we feed the fish with frozen food direct from the freezer, will cause quantity of examite appears. Examite is natural present in the water. Well, I cannot say nothing about that because I don't use frozen food. I have used in the past with my hybrids, but I think frozen food. I have some, I don't like it because I don't know the origin of that frozen food. I don't know if it comes with bacteria. I don't know if it's have be frozen and then take out and put again in the freezer. So I prefer to give just the food from tropical. Look, it's like if we have a dog or a cat, we give some food we buy in the pet shop or in the supermarket. So it's like the fish. If tropical have studied a good quality of food, we don't need to change that. I think it's not a good idea. If the fish, of course, eating grains and flakes, because many fish they don't eat, of course.
Like you, Victor. Before doing wilds, I was doing hybrid, and I passed by a lot of different type of food, and I also give some frozen food at the start. And that was a period where I had problem with flagellates after a while. Since I've been doing only dry food, I don't have any more problem with stomach. So I don't know. I can be 100%, but from the experience, I guess today the problem of flagell is not there anymore. I can have some other problems, but not the flagells.
Yes, I think the flagellates can resist also with medicaments. One of the medicaments used in Amazon and Portugal when the fish arrive is levamisil. For me, is the number one, and I make 2-3 times levamisil, and well, the fish are perfect. And when they are not perfect, we separate and we make a treatment. And sometimes.
I have a question about this. So, what is for you the difference between octocil and levamisil?
Well, levamisil is a medicament for example, capillaria, and the wilds come with a lot of capillaria, and it's something when you see a fish start to be skinning very quick, it's a fish who have capillaria. Levamisil, it's perfect to kill the capillaria and most of the flagellates. Octocil we use essential for eczemita. But octocil is a very, how I say, it's a very power medicament, but destroy a lot the bacterial system of the filtration. So we must care about using octocil and check every day the nitrate and ammonia, because they can up because kill a lot of bacteria. So we use both, and we have a question here from Rodrigues Flores, and yes, we use octocil and levamistil minimum 2 times in Amazon and minimum 2 times here in Portugal, and sometimes in some fish when we see something wrong, we put again the fish with medicament, and they need to stop with that, you know. So the best seller and the medicament I use more is levamistil, and it works very well. Laurent, ça va bien? What is the question, Pascal?
Oh, I had another question. So we are going on another sector a little bit. We come back to water and maintenance a little bit. like on Facebook, I see especially like in beginners site, okay, a lot of people who try to go down the pH, okay, with CO2.
Well, I never use CO2. I never use, and I think can be a little danger. I know some experience with some people who have used CO2 in with wild discos, and the problem is the pH sometimes is cannot be stable, and down and up and down and up, and we know that is not good for the fish. For the wild discos, the hybrids can live with that. The wild discos, no, the wild discos be stressed, and it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea.
Yeah, that's what I think also, because like you have to explain us something, yeah, but the relation KH pH is directly like the result of the oxygen, right? Because if you put like pH, if you compress the pH with a high KH, you make raise the CO2 milligram per liter. Huh? So actually, you putting your fish in a gas chamber, right?
Yeah. It's many things I never, for example, CO2 I never use because I never have big aquariums with plants, and the way I made the water and also the filtration, I made this for the first day I have discos, and I learn well. When I start with discos, is no internet, it's no mobile phones, so it's just fax. We speak with the people outside of the wall. So I learn with myself, and when I understand the best way to keep discos is no mixed products, is no made many kind of filtration, is made the most simple way is the success. I made until now the same, so I don't change too much in the last years. Just the filtration, for example, I prefer now BioHome because it's something new. In the past, we don't have. But most of the things I keep the same, like when I start with the discos, because it's like a team. When a team we don't change the players. So if my team is win, why I gonna change? I gonna tell you a story. When I buy my unique Osmos 25 years ago, I buy a Osmos. I'm breeding a lot of hybrids, but I see some Osmos selling, and I buy, and they stop breeding for more than 6 months. Then I stop with Osmos and I use just tap water, and they start breeding. So I think I just expend money in Osmos. I don't need Osmos. My water, they have a pH 7.0, 7.7, 300, 320 microsiemens. So why I going to buy Osmos if the fish are breeding? I just finish with my couples. They stop breeding for more than 6 months because I changed the water. So just to say, if everything is okay, why I want to buy something more to see my fish better? Sometimes it's wrong. It's worse. You understand? It's.
Donc là-dessus, voilà, la question était, c'est ça fait un petit moment en fait qu'on voit sur les réseaux des gens qui travaillent avec donc le CO2 pour descendre leur pH, en pensant que, voilà, en lisant dans les livres que les discus en fait vivent dans des pH bas, et donc en gros ils vont acheter un kit de CO2 pour faire descendre en fait leur pH. Sauf que en fait, ce qu'il faut comprendre, c'est que le pH est directement relié au pH. Et ces deux symboles, d'accord, vont faire en sorte de vous donner un taux de CO2 en milligrammes. Alors, là-dessus, Victor dit que lui, ça fait des années donc, qui maintient en fait des wilds et que en fait, pour lui, encore une fois, rien de mieux qu'une eau équilibrée, d'accord, que de vouloir trafiquer son eau et surtout pas utiliser de CO2 pour pouvoir travailler sur les valeurs de son eau. Euh, il reconnaît que, en gros, lui, il n'a pas d'expérience dans le maintien des plantes, de bacs plantés. Ça, c'est vraiment encore un truc bien plus spécifique. Moi, je pourrais même pas vous en parler non plus parce que c'est vraiment quelque chose sur lequel je me suis pas attardé. Ce qui est sûr, c'est que pour moi, l'apport de CO2 doit à la rigueur compenser les besoins nutritifs des plantes, ça oui, mais surtout pas travailler sur des valeurs de pH. Si vous devez faire descendre votre pH, il faut d'abord faire descendre le KH. Sinon, forcément, vous allez augmenter le dioxyde de carbone dans votre aquarium et vous aurez des maladies, vous aurez des poissons qui vont mourir, c'est sûr. Voilà.
It's like many people, they use, Roberto ask, what about muriatic acid to lowering pH? Well, muriatic muriatic acid is something you can put, but I never use. I never have that problem. But it's something in 3-4 days change the pH again, because you can use acid muriatic, but after 3-4 days that acid is not working anymore. So we can reduce the pH, and after 4 days the water again you have a pH high. So it's not the best. It's not the best.
You don't want to do that.
No, no. I like I tell to Pascal, and I tell to everybody. I like to have the pH stable, and I don't use nothing more than pit turf and catapas to down the pH. I need to down. Some people need to up. Well, to up, it's a little more difficult. But the people here don't have a pH with 4.3. For example, in Amazon, my tap water it's 4.5. Okay, so it's not good for the health. So in Amazon, when I have a pH with 4.5, the tap water, I put some bicarbonate and to up the pH. Okay, but nothing more. Here I have the difference. I have the pH 7.2, and I try to down with pit turf and catapas. Nothing more. I don't put nothing more. pH minus to down. I think it's worse. It's not good for the fish. Can you make a video where you explain it how you start while Discus tank? Okay, Ali. I have a no, it's not a project. I want to make something. It's speaking different things about wild discos and put in YouTube, in Facebook. A small presentation with some, for example, food filtration, media filtration. My problem is when they have 24 hours, and in this moment I don't have time. I try to find time, but I don't have time. I don't have time to my family. It's unbelievable. I live in 15 years in Amazon, and I arrive to Portugal to my family, and I'm not staying with my family because I just work. I just come to home, lunch, dinner, and then I back to my farm. So I want to make. Let's see if next weeks I have a little more time to make something, because it's something I want to make to help everybody, not just the guys who buy me fish, but the others who have wild discos or discos, and sometimes they don't know what they can make. So one of these days I'm going to start with that. Okay. One more question, Pascal, do you have?
Yes. Like when we use peat, okay, I see like many changing parameters happened during the preparation time. I see that my KH is going down, my pH is going down, and the conductivity is going down also. So for me, it was a big change in comparison of how I was doing before with my hybrid. Like for somebody new in the protocol who will want to try to work like the way you recommend, what method and what could you tell them to be able to get the more stable possible and the more linear possible?
Well, when we start speaking a few months or years ago, all the time my advice it's try make everything simple, but try to prepare your water in another place, in another tank. And I think you are one of the good examples how keep the wild discos, because you and for you show me you have a big tank where you prepare the water, and that is really important. It's important to have a tank to prepare the water. You try to keep the pH the same when you change the water. That I think is the best you can make. And my advice to everybody is doing like you do. It's have your tank and have some place, can be aquarium, can be a tank, doesn't matter, in plastic, where you put the water, you put some oxygen, you put some turf, and when you want to change, you change the same pH and same conductivity. If everybody made at the same way like you made now, I think the results going to be perfect. Of course, takes time. Takes time. Why? It takes time because it's all experience every day. It's all experience how much of pit turf I need to use, how much, how gonna down the pH after 3 or 4 days, 5 days, 6 days. So my advice is made like me. It's try to put everything in the paper and see the difference. 1 kilo of turf down the pH in 4 days for 7 to 6.4. If I use the more pit turf, how long it takes down the pH. So everything is like it's like a old motor, and you have the carburetor, and you know.
Yes.
You all the time you need to test and see if the motor gonna be more quick and gonna live more time. It's a question of time. It's because it's not so difficult, but of course takes time. But it's important to make that test to see how is the water after a few days.
So to be able to work the way then you ask, actually, so you need like a pH controller to make sure to watch both pH, like in the aquarium and in the preparation tank.
And sometimes, and one of these days you tell me something. It's funny, but it's not because it's funny. Because I remember, I don't say nothing, but when you have a control of pH and conductivity, sometimes it's unbelievable, but it's not the same value. Sometimes we have no. Sometimes it's unbelievable. But for example, I have some controls of pH, hand controls from Anna, and for example, I put that test, and one gives me, for example, 6.4, and the other 6.5, and I have tests and regulate and put the liquids to have the same pH, but sometimes the sonda, can be a problem in the sonda. So it's very difficult to have two controls of pH with the same value, because sometimes, for example, decaments. medicaments destroy the control. You know, that sonda you put in the water. If also we need to clean that sonda and put in the different liquids. They have a liquid to maintain the sonda. So it's very difficult all the time have the same pH. For my experience, very difficult. One of these days you tell me, oh, Hugo, one gives 6.4 and the others give 6.5 and is the same water. And I'm in this side of the computer and I say, well, what's happened with Pascal happens to me. So, you know, it's very difficult because it's a small difference, but it's a difference. But it's not because that small difference it's a big deal, you know. It's nothing so important. You understand?
Yes, you recommend also when you do water change, you recommend to do like a water change with a low flow, right?
Yeah. Water change with a low flow, and if can takes, for example, that change of water. Imagine you wanna change 100 liters of water. If takes, for example, of an hour, that 100 is better. Not a change of water very quick is what I want to say.
Yes.
You understand? Just if we have something to make, is better we decide to make the change of water if we have time for make the change of water, and if just can be a small quantity of water entered in the aquarium, much better for the fish. The fish don't like, you know, all difference. The fish don't need to feel that difference of water, of change of water, you know. And make change of water when you have nitrates and nitrates. Change of water is good for the hybrid, for the wilds. The wilds like old water. You understand? Not new water. When people say, "Oh, I change half of the aquarium," when I make a change of water, I say for me it's wrong. You can do it, but for me, I'm never gonna make that. I think my fish don't like it, and I made everything for see the fish with full color and no stress bars. Okay, one more question to go. I go dinner.
Okay. Do we have questions? I see like Philippe Alvaro maybe have a question, no?
Yes. No, I have one question from Laura. Laura, how gill flux appears? Okay, Laura, I don't imagine, but in the environment, the fish have gyrodactyls and dactylogills, so they have problems in the gills. When they arrived to my company, we made some treatments, and one of them is Bilocil, but it's very difficult to finish with gill parasites. The unique way to stop with gill parasites is this way. You make the treatment in one aquarium, okay? You make the treatment here, and after use 2 times Bilocil, you take this fish and put in another aquarium, okay? And then in another aquarium, you make Bilocil 1 more time during 2 days. After that, the other aquarium you have cleaned, okay? And you put again the fish, and they don't have gyrodactyls. Because the gill flux, the eggs goes in the bottom of the aquarium, and after 24 hours, 48 hours, they born again. So it's very difficult to destroy all the parasites, the dactylogills and gyrodactyls. So the unique way is make the treatment in one aquarium and then put in another aquarium, make again medicament, and finally put in the first aquarium. Is the unique way. Here in Portugal, I also have geoparasites, of course, and I made Bilocil. I made Bilocil sometimes I made one-time amounts. Other times I made two amounts to make the deal seal, because it's very difficult to finish with dual flux. But for example, in the couples, yes, in the couples I destroy all the dual flux, because when the small babies born, after 2-3 weeks they start dying if they have gill flux in the water or in the gills. So it's something difficult to destroy, it's something difficult to finish, but it's possible, of course.
Okay.
How long should the last one? How long should the fish be without light? Xavi, como vas? Amigo, gracias. And well, the fish can live without any light. Okay, it's important to say the natural light who comes from the window to the room where we have the fish, it's enough for the fish. Of course, if you have some plants, you need to use some light, but I think 5 hours, 6 hours, and some place for the fish hide, because if the fish are not comfortable, they need to hide in a truck or something like that. And so if you have plants, put a truck, and the fish after eating, they go beside the truck. But light is not necessary for the wild discos, just for the plants. They live in the nature without light. Pascal, mon ami.
Oui, Tom, écoute, thank you very much for tonight,
thank you to you.
All the sharing and all the experience. It's always super interesting to be able to talk or to listen to you. I think
merci.
it was good.
Merci à toutes qui viennent ici aujourd'hui. Pour moi, c'est un plaisir. For me, it's all the time a pleasure to speak about this, like you imagine. If I can do just this in my life, it's just speaking, because in my blood comes the virus of disco. You know, I'm infected for a long time, and what I can say, I live this is my job, but I live what I do.
It's a passion. It's good.
A passion.
It's important.
If you feel this passion for a long time, I still in these markets and help who needs with my experience. So
thank you very much. Enjoy your dinner. Say big kiss to LA's.
I waiting you in Portugal when you can travel to visit me and to visit.
I will come for sure. Yeah, I want to see your farm for sure.
I'm sure.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon to you all. Have a good weekend.
Merci encore. À bientôt.
Merci beaucoup.
Bye bye.
Bye bye, my friend.